Hey, it's Dim. Welcome home. Welcome back to another chapter of this beautiful book, The Way of the Superior Man. If you've not seen the previous episodes in this series, we are reading through this beautiful book, chapter by chapter, and doing a little discourse at the end so you can receive the beautiful wisdom that's in this book and apply it into your own life. So if you're not familiar with the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. So, without further ado, it's a short chapter, the next one. Chapter 10. Enjoy your friend's criticism. A man's capacity to receive another man's direct criticism is a measure of his capacity to receive masculine energy. If he doesn't have a good relationship to masculine energy, example, his father, then he will act like a woman and be hurt or defensive, rather than make use of other men's criticism. About once a week, you should sit down with your closest men friends and discuss what you are doing with your life and what you are afraid of doing. The conversation should be short and simple. You should state where you are at. Then your friend should give you a behavioral experiment, something you can do that will reveal something to you or grant more freedom in your life. Example, I want to have an affair with Denise, but I don't want to hurt my wife. I'm afraid of her finding out, you might say. You have been talking about Denise for a few months now. You are wasting your life energy on this fantasy. You should either have sex with her by tomorrow night or drop the whole thing and never talk about it again, your friends might say, challenging your hesitation and mediocrity. Okay, I know I'm not going to do it. I see now that I'm too afraid of ruining my marriage to have an affair with Denise. My marriage is more important than my desire for Denise. I'll drop it and refocus on the priorities in my life. Thanks. Your close men friends should be willing to challenge your mediocrity by suggesting a concrete action you can perform that will drop you out of your rut, one way or the other. And you must be willing to offer them your brutal honesty in the same way if you are all to grow. Good friends should not tolerate mediocrity in one another. If you are at your edge, your men friends should respect that, but not let you off the hook. They should honor your fears and, in love, continue to goad you beyond them without pushing you. If you merely want support from your men friends without challenge, it bespeaks of an unresolved issue you may have with your father, whether he is alive or dead. The father force is the force of loving challenge and guidance. Without this masculine force in your life, your direction becomes unchecked, and you are liable to meander in the mush of your own ambiguity and indecision. Your close men friends can provide the stark light of love, uncompromised by a fearful Mr. Nice Act, by which you can see the direction you really want to go. Choose men friends who themselves are living at their edge, facing their fears and living just beyond them. Men of this kind can love you without protecting you from the necessary confrontation with reality that your life involves. You should be able to trust that these friends will tell you about your life as they see it, offer you a specific action which will shed light on your own position, and give you the support necessary to live in the freedom just beyond your edge, which is not always or even usually comfortable. It's funny. I think this book, that specific chapter, is definitely right in theory. It's hard in application, is what I found, because it's hard to be a voice of challenge and to keep each other sharp and keep each other honest while still staying friends. and not generating bad blood, because there are times where we do need support, but there's also times where we do need challenge. Or another way that I like to say it is just not so much challenge for the sake of challenge, but your presence and your ability to offer someone a perspective. I think that this particular chapter, it implies a few, like a multitude of frames that kind of need to be in place to implement it. So here's what I mean by that. One of the things you need to have is yourself, you need to be actually going for it. You actually need to be motivated and actually like just genuinely going for it. That's one thing. Because if you are genuinely going for it, there's less for you to be offended by. And furthermore, it's easier for you to attract other friends who are genuinely also going for it. Because if you try to do this with friends who are not going for it, who are not actually in the arena also trying, it's not going to work. So you need to be someone who's going for it, and then you can connect and resonate with the type of people who are actually also executors, who are actually also going for it. So I have I'm very lucky. It was like an angel got sent to me. One of my oldest friends in the whole world. When I was 25, this is 10 years ago, I was in corporate, but I hated my job and I wanted to quit, and I wanted to go to Africa and go build homes and just soul search and figure out my life. And I didn't know what to do. And I spoke to my best friend, and I appreciate him so much to this day. Okay, he's my best friend to this day. And he said to me, Dim, since when are we the type of guys that talk about things and don't do it? Either you actually quit your job and freaking go to Africa or do whatever the hell you're going to do, or don't and shut the fuck up. Is basically what he said to me. But he just said, stop being in this indecisive place. Just you're either going to fucking do it or you're not. You know, he didn't tolerate my indecisiveness. He helped me like soundboard and sound through my ideas, but there was always a bias for action. And that's what I would. But that's also because he's quite an action taker. He also is very driven. He doesn't just what would you say? Just mentally masturbate on it. He doesn't just he doesn't have analysis paralysis. He is an executor. So to do, I would say to do what he's saying in this chapter, you also need to be an executor yourself. So you want to be an executor, and you want to be around executors. Then it's a lot easier to share where you're at, and your friends, as long as it's not about ego, as long as it's genuinely about love. Because I do it to this day now with all my close friends, but I am aware that I'm in quite a small demographic of people, because most people don't have friends who are executors. And it took me a long time, over 10 years, to maneuver my life and, to be around people who are executors. And now I run coaching programs to connect people in the environment, in better environments of people who actually have growth mindsets. But I would just leave you with this. You need to be an executor. You need to connect with friends who are executors. And then with all the love in your heart, you just relate to each other. You speak to each other. You speak about where you're at. The irony is, the more you're an executor, the less you actually even need this chapter. The less you even need to get called on your bullshit. I think it's a bit of a flawed chapter, just because if you're someone who bullshits yourself and has an analysis paralysis and never actually takes action, you're most likely not going to have friends who are executors. Birds of a feather flock together. You probably have friends who are similar to you. So for you, I would actually say what's even better is put yourself in an environment where there are guys who will call you on your bullshit. Otherwise, you will forever stagnate. And the thing is, whatever you're afraid of, it's actually not as bad as you think, almost every single time, because whatever you're afraid of is an actual phantom in your head about what the situation's going to be. It's not the actual situation. and you are more capable than you give yourself credit for. You're more capable. So if you actually put yourself in that situation, you'll find you'll be able to navigate it. But yes, you want to be around friends and find a way to be around people who are executors. That's why I run coaching programs, to give people those opportunities, and that's why I myself pay for coaching programs, to be with other like-minded people. So yeah, short chapter today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me. Do send this to your group of executors. Hopefully, if you believe they're going to get value out of it too. If you'd like to connect with me, my name is Dim Happer. I'd love for you to connect with me on Instagram. That'll be lovely. All right, until the next episode.